178, engine failure, immediate return.
Ryan 178, runway 21, clear to land.
Also go to 3.
Ryan 178, runway 3, clear to land.
Tower Unit 3, did you see the last location?
Unit 3, it looked like it was short of the runway by the VOR.
Dramatic audio involving actor Harrison Ford requesting emergency clearance to land after engine failure of his World War II era plane.
The 72-year-old actor requested air traffic control towers to return back to the Santa Monica Municipal Airport, but unfortunately he couldn't make it back in time, instead having to perform a crash landing, as you just saw, on a neighboring golf course.
Ford landed successfully, really a controlled crash, snapped against a tree. He was injured, but it turns out his injuries, thankfully, are not life-threatening. For more on the story, let's go to the left coast. Our right-thinking man out there, James Hirsen, joins us via Skype. And James, I would imagine that these real-life heroics by Harrison Ford have Hollywood all a Twitter today.
Yeah, definitely. The social media is lighting up. I guess it's to be expected. Harrison Ford played Han Solo in the Star Wars movies, the original Star Wars movies, and if he can fly in space, I guess he's an accomplished veteran pilot. He was flying a vintage World War II plane, and witnesses said that they saw smoke right after he took off. But witnesses also said, there were witnesses that were themselves pilots, said it was a perfect reaction, because had he tried to turn around and go back to the airport, according to experts, he would have crashed. And because he had a lot of experience, and maybe because of his stunt work in the movies, he knew what he had to do was take down the plane, that the plane was designed to fly a short distance without the engine, and he landed in a golf course. And that was a magnanimous act, because he carefully guided the plane away from the local housing that was there and from a chance of any people getting injured. I guess he landed near a hole where the golfers were not golfing at that time. It was golfers, by the way, who pulled him out of the plane. They were afraid that it would explode. They didn't know who it was. And it's a wonderful story because, as you said, not life-threatening injuries, and also it shows, again, there are good Samaritans out there who are willing to help.
James, we also heard that it just so happened that these golfers that were there were actually doctors.
Yeah, well, that's the best place to find. You want to, in L.A., you want to find a physician, go to the golf course. So that's it. And I believe it happened on a day where a lot of doctors do play golf. So that was fortunate. If he didn't have the expertise, we would be possibly talking about a very tragic loss. And I understand there were some broken bones. This is based on unconfirmed reports, but that he's got some severe but not life-threatening kinds of injuries. So he's going to be healing up for a while. And Mark Hamill, who starred with him in Star Wars, tweeted, essentially said, "Harrison, I hope your future flights are only on the green screen."
Well, let's
talk. Which makes a wish for a 72-year-old guy.
Amen. The guy, that was a big surprise to me. The happy news, he's okay, but plus he's 72. He's in great shape. Listen, 30 seconds, because the NIMBY syndrome, that Santa Monica airport being where it is it going to end up closing now? I guess that discussion's going to happen, huh?
Well, it always happens with airports, but Santa Monica Airport is not an international airport, but it's a very active airport with private planes, and it's near residences, the golf course, Santa Monica College. I'm sure that discussion will occur, but that airport's been there for decades, and it's not going to close.
It'll stay open. That's the prediction from James Hirsen. I think there's still a battle that will take place in Santa Monica. When we come back, we'll have more with James Hirsen, a noted entertainment attorney, about a battle over music sounding alike. That's straight ahead. Stay tuned.
I know you want it. I know you want it.
Just a little bit of the music video from Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams, the hit song Blurred Lines.
I can't help but dance when I hear it. Sorry. Blurred Lines was the biggest song of 2013, JD, in case you didn't know, but has since faced some controversy after singer Marvin Gaye's family filed a lawsuit against Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams, saying Blurred Lines is just a copyright infringement on Marvin Gaye's hit song. Gotta give it up.
And let me tell you, when I hear the syncopation, to me, not a trained musicologist, not an entertainment attorney, it sounds like got to give it up. Well, let's give it up now to that entertainment attorney, our right man on the left coast. Continue the conversation with James Hirsen. So, are these guys going to skate on this, or is the estate of Marvin Gaye going to pull something off and get some dough for this copyright infringement charge?
First, let me say, JD, this is right up my alley. Prior to going to law school, I made a living as a musician. I toured with the Temptations. This is my kind of music. But what the law says, this is copyright infringement that we're talking about, and what the law says, that uses the term substantially similar. That's decided by a jury, and the closing arguments were made to a jury, and they hear expert witnesses. You said the word musicologist. So this is a battle of the musicologists who testify and say, look at these portions of the melody that are similar. Look at the structure. For example, George Harrison lost a very famous lawsuit over his My Sweet Lord being substantially similar to He's So Fine. And you contrast this case to the situation with Grammy Award winner Sam Smith, who co-wrote the song Stay With Me, and Tom Petty's people said, hey, this is the same song. They settled the matter by giving Petty co-writing credit, which is very common in the music industry. Surprising thing is that this did not settle. And that means that, the people on Thicke and Williams' side decided, hey, we have a chance to battle this out in court. It's different enough. But the jury ultimately is going to decide, and JD, juries can do anything.
What do you think is going to happen based on your experience?
Well, it's just, if you're not in the courtroom, you don't see the evidence. I think this one is a toss-up. That's because of the fact that it's going to depend on which expert is more persuasive to the jury. And not having seen them, as the jury has, I can't really tell. But I would say this. If I were representing Williams and Thicke, I would have taken the safer route and settled this and not gone in front of a jury. In the closing argument, they asked for $25 million. And then depending upon whether there are these special statutory damages, it could go even higher. So I think this is a dangerous trial, for Robin Thicke and for Pharrell Williams. So I think there's a decent chance that they'll get dinged by the jury.
Well, only about a minute remains. You said juries can do anything, and I understand Robin Thicke came in and sang to the jury. Now, does that kind of informal concert help him with jurors?
Well, celebrity power is real, and jurors are people, and we're all obsessed with celebrities. I mean, Clint Eastwood won an uphill battle lawsuit against National Enquirer in part because he took the stand. You can imagine what that was like. He said, I'll tell the truth, punk, or whatever he did. And Pharrell Williams is one of the most likable human beings. He's a judge on The Voice. He's a celebrity in his own right. I understand he's made appearances in the trial. So that's a factor. It's going to help them. And also they're explaining, and by the way, it doesn't matter whether they did this innocently or not. That is not the factor. The factor is whether it is substantially similar. George Harrison said, I intentionally do it. And same thing that Sam Smith said, that's not even a factor.
So it's not intentional, it's just what the musicologists decide. James Hirsen, thanks for humming that Hollywood tune for us. We're coming right back.